and they're attacking me at the same time, but without vehicles they can't win here at this point. I've got base defences, I'm in the same position, they can't win here and I can't win here, but at least I've got tanks. And I'm still in a decent position, but I thought, nah, you have to fall back.
Control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. I've got a 1v1 multiplayer game. This is on Timian map, as most of my viewers should know. This is one of my favourites. I don't use it as often as I used to because I've posted a lot of games on Timian, so I don't use it as often as I used to, like, because obviously there's been enough posts of Timian, but while I'm practicing and trying to say I want to do my best for a game, I will use it now and then. And for this one I'm using Russia and my opponent's using England. We're getting the refineries placed. My opponent sending rifles straight for this oil derrick by the looks of it. I started with an engineer, so I'm getting my oil derrick capture underway immediately. Now my opponent has got an engineer. They have trained 5 rifles. Now they've got an engineer, but that's all they appear to be training. That's interesting. Whereas I've got these 3 rifles to hunt the enemy's engineer. And I've captured my first oil derrick. My opponent is on his way to this oil derrick. So I'm on my way to the second. Now I can't judge my opponent's engineer position by going off my own engineer's position, because he's chosen a different route. So I can't use the timing to catch him out. So that's an interesting idea, that maybe that's why he's done it. Look how closely escorted that is. That's perfect. If you put them in a 5-stack, they actually move at the same speed. That's perfect. And my rifleman was in the right place to catch the engineer, although I was hoping to be catching him moving in the opposite direction. But, you know, he was in the right place. It's just that was so closely escorted by that 5-stack. They dealt with my three scout rifles, no problem. Now, I've captured 2 oil derricks, my opponent's captured 1, and they're about to capture the next. Now, they've got a radar dome very early. They've only got 1 ore truck, and they've got a helipad. That's why they've gone for the 5 rifles, and that's all. Interesting. I should have, and I'm being cautious, because I know this player. I know that they're a good player, a good opponent, so I'm being quite cautious and covering all my bases, but I'm not investigating the enemy base. Now, when I sent those 3 rifles, they were taken out before they got anywhere, so I assumed he had a normal force there, and I was expecting him to attack here or defend this. So, you know, look, I'm gathering my units here, I'm being cautious, and I have got my guards in the right positions, but I should be sending some rifles, at least 1 or 2, straight this way towards the enemy, and send them around the edges of the maps to avoid being taken out. But my opponent, they've got a helicopter, and they've got 5 rifles and a helicopter, and now they're building a war factory. Right, now I have 4 rocket soldiers there, and 2 are dead. 3 are dead, 4 are dead. And now this force has no rocket soldiers. I've got 1 left and it didn't get a shot off. So I've lost 5 rocket soldiers. That's 1,500 credits worth of units I've just lost. And my opponent, when they do finally get a service depot, they can repair that helicopter. Until then, they can't. Yeah, my players said, my opponent said that they didn't do that well. They didn't zoom in enough to pick out the rocket soldiers. I think they did fairly well, considering they didn't lose anything and they destroyed 1,500 credits worth of rocket soldiers, and now I've got 1. But when I see enemy air units, I immediately build flak trucks. Now I've got 2, and I'm building my rocket soldiers, but you have to watch your income, your credits. And there's another flak truck, but I now will be producing my... There's another ore truck. So I actually interrupted my ore truck production. Now I destroyed 1 helicopter. I've got no rocket soldiers, look. And there's my flak truck, and I microm it to keep away from the helicopter while this gives me a bit of extra view range to fire on it. And my flak truck just won that engagement. So it's a veteran, and I'm going to repair it. There's the pilot. He's dead. Black Hawk down. Pilot done for. The sequel. There you go. I've repaired the flak truck. And I have a couple of rocket troops. I've got 3. That's no way near enough. So my opponent's probably, you know, just as... Yeah, they are. They've got more rocket soldiers. They've 4 each, actually, by the looks of that. But I'm training more rocket soldiers. But like I say, you have to watch the drain on your income. And is after my flak truck destroyed it. Now that missile caught it. Perfect. Lovely final shot from a Stinger, and there's a swear, sort of, yeah, a bit of a swear. That's what I took that to mean, that splash of letters. And I'm building up some rocket soldiers. I've got 5 there at the front line, 2 more on the way, and there's my MCV. Now it's late because I built at least 3 flak trucks as well as my ore trucks, so my MCV's late, my second one, but my opponent, this joke build with the helicopters, it can be effective, and look how much damage they've done. It's worked, but they've only got their home base MCV, so they best watch it. They're putting all their eggs in one basket when it comes to defending the front line, because, and they haven't finished mining here. They could have stayed back and been a bit more defensive, although they are right to secure some, or I can't deny that. Now, I've seen this helicopter, and I thought I'll use all my units to distract it and let the flak truck pick it off. And these things are quite expensive. What, 1,500? Let's see. Well, yeah, 1,500 for a Black Hawk. My opponent has none that I can see. 8,000 army value to 13,000 army value in my favour. My opponent's got a Black Hawk there. They've hung on to their engineer, although this has been destroyed, and I'm moving forward. I've got my APC, but I don't want to lose it, and I'm just trying to get this heavy tank to hurry, and I've got my flak truck hanging back. But I can use them for view range, that's all, and the tank is driving right over the enemy. That'll buy me a bit of time. Now the ore trucks are drawing fire. Now look at that, I lost my flak truck and the missiles finished off the helicopter. And I thought I lost this engagement, and then I thought, well, actually, why not still fight properly and get the APC in front screening my infantry. Now another tank's arrived. I thought I'll drive that in between the enemy and my units, and there you go. They've got another helicopter on the way. Let's check the old power supply. Yes, I've just got them into low power, and I'm at 8,000 army value. They're at 4,000, 5,000 now. So yeah, this is a close scrap, but I'm targeting the power plant, and this tank is about to fall. Yes, lost the tank, and now I've got a flak truck, and the helicopter crashed on the barracks, and I'm moving forward here. Look, I've got my expansion well and truly underway, an eco transfer, but I'm gathering all my units here. But this is where my infantry are coming from, so it's not defenceless here, plus it's got a base defense. So look, there you go, moving forward. It looks like a flak truck's taking fire from a base defense. That's a shame. A light tank, that's not going to do much. But I've got another flak truck. If my opponent produces helicopters, I am still producing flak trucks. It looks like it's going to take the brunt of the enemy attack. Got a couple of shots off, that's it. Missiles did the job. And there's Tanya. Worried about this lot, and the MCV's trying to escape, and Tanya is gunning down all my infantry. And she'll have a perfect view range from the Allied Tech Centre, but this tank is not going to let this run away quite so easily. I am giving conflicting orders, but I am still not going to let it go, and I had to fall back. And my opponent's got a mobile radar jammer. So look, you see, I'm pursuing the MCV. My heavy tank is not going to give it up. One more salvo, and you're done with. Now, I don't think they've got an MCV at all, so that's no more no more structures for my opponent. And they've got Tanya. And I've seen this, and I thought, right, I'm going to use the chokehold. So, where's... there, I've got my radar dome. Now, there's thieves on the way. And my opponent's got a nice bit of cash. So there's thieves on the way, an engineer, now another thief. I'm destroying this, so he's not got too much view range, but they can't afford to really give that up because they'll have no income without it. So here's an infiltration. That was quite nice. That was a few grand, all right. Now we've got the engineer who's going to grab the chokehold, so they can't sell it. There's another infiltration. That looked like 4,000, I think. And I've got the capture on, but I'm not going to let it finish the capture. I'm going to reset that capture bar. There you go, look. But my opponent used a helicopter, and I thought, right, I'm not having that. I'm using the flak trucks to cut off its escape and hunt that helicopter for what it did. Killed an engineer. Right, now I can attack. I've got 2 V2s and 2 flak trucks, and I saw this force and thought, oh dear, my opponent's actually got a force to fight with here. Am I in trouble? And I lost a V2. I think, yeah, I've got 2 flak trucks and a V2 left, but I'm placing these defences, bringing up reinforcements, and I know that this is still intact. This refinery still earning. We've both got a 7,000 army value, so now I was in trouble, but I've done so much damage, look. Army-wise, how has he managed to do that, I don't know, but it's a testament to his skill. And look, that radar jammer's done for, trying to stop my rocket soldiers, but these are going to pulverise a light tank. And there you go, there's a helicopter, took out my last V2. Now I've taken out the helicopter with my missile. I've got thieves on the way, and frontline war factory, and it's covered with anti-aircraft defences, the war factory. And see, this small force I can attack here, and Tanya's out of the way, look. Because she'll die from one shot from a tank, so he's keeping her out of the way. Now I'm bringing up flak trucks, heavy tanks, thieves. And there you go. My opponent, there's the end of Tanya. They've called it. And there you go. So that was my first game of today, this one. So I hope you enjoyed that one. I'll go through the graphs and charts for you. There's the army graph. And yes, we were even at that point, but my opponent didn't increase their army size for a good while, and that wasn't good, and they'd taken some serious losses here. They did replace them okay, but towards the end, we actually had an equal army value. But I'd done that much damage that, you know, it was over for them. But there's the army graph for you, look. I was ahead of my opponent, and they'd taken losses, serious hits during the game. Earnings, here we go. Yeah, my opponent was ahead at one brief point, but I was doing well for earnings, and I'm assuming that's my infiltrations where my earnings spiked up to about 14,000 credits by the looks of that. Very nice. Here's my finishing army. I've got a few heavy tanks, a flak truck, a thief, and a few infantry. Very small finishing army, but I was in a very strong position still. I had production close to the enemy, and they had taken that much damage that I didn't need a large army, just to use the assets that I did have and keep producing anti-aircraft units. Quite easy and quite simple. My army is 7,000, so when we both had a 7,000 army value at the end, I've still maintained it. But I killed... my opponent, they've lost 9 structures. I killed 13, but 9 structures I've killed, and I lost none. I destroyed 107 units. My opponent destroyed 220, so they destroyed more than double the amount of units I did. But let's have a look at the value. I destroyed 47,000 credits worth of my opponent's assets. My opponent destroyed 44,000 credits worth of mine, so it's very close in the amount of assets we destroyed. So yeah, I destroyed all their structures, but they didn't have many. So it was the units, the extra units they've killed have pretty much matched my destroyed value. You know, they did well there. No support powers in effect. I do have my radar dome, but as quite often is the way, I don't have an airfield yet, and I'd got thieves on the way straight away. But, you know, you can't deny how effective they were. They just got straight in there and stole thousands. Very effective unit, the thieves. But I was talking to this player, and they were saying that thieves, that a good use for them is stealing ore trucks, and that's true. And I said, yeah, especially if they're actually full of ore, because then you can take the load of ore as well. But not only do you stop the enemy earning money from that ore truck, you're earning money from it as well, and they've paid for it. So all you do for 500, you get, you know, about 700 credits worth. I think they're about 1400. So you're getting 900 credits worth of unit. If you can get it with a full load of ore, that's extra. And it's well worth it because you're getting the ore truck to mine for you instead of the enemy. So you're taking credits away from them and earning them by stealing their ore trucks. But I would put a thief in the refinery first, see if they've got enough credits worth stealing or doing the chokehold. If they haven't, then use the rest of your thieves to steal ore trucks or whatever. But there's production. I've got advanced power plant and anti-aircraft SAM site, rocket soldiers and V2s under production, and I've got 7 ore trucks. I hung on to my 2 oil derricks, there look, and I earn 86,000. My opponent earned 65,000. They were going to have nowhere near the earnings. They did well to have that amount, to be fair, with the minimal foundation of their base, the minimal assets they had for earning. So they did well there. Yeah, 86,000 I earned. They got 65,000. That's not bad. I've got 9 grand because of the infiltrations, and my opponent's got over 3,500 credits. I was at 31 actions per minute. My opponent was at 32 actions per minute. And there's your score: 555 to me, 436 to my opponent. A very good close game, but they just went for the helicopter build and it didn't pay off. But there's the basics, graphs and charts for you. I'm going to add a second replay to this post, so we'll go to that now.
Battle control terminated.
Let's have a look. We'll play this
Battle
one.
control initialized.
And this is a 1v1 multiplayer game on Kosovo map. And I'm using Russia and my opponent's using France for this game. And I've got my usual routine for Kosovo map. I don't tend to hunt the enemy engineers early on, although sometimes I send a rifle or two. But you should really, and you should send a rifle straight to the enemy base. But I have a routine where I capture this, and then I expect the enemy to capture that, and then go for the centre. So I go for this second to take it away from them, and that means I've got 2 and they've got 0. And it usually works out okay. You know, you can soon change your plans and adapt if it doesn't. Or if the enemy's there waiting for you or something. Or if they've seen my video, then, you know, alter your plans. It's easily done. You know, send this rifleman first in case the enemy attack and await your engineer and waiting for your engineer. Send this rifleman here to guard the back. And then when you send your engineer to capture, make sure he's not close enough to the barrels to die if they explode. Because I saw an opponent detonate the barrels while he was capturing with the engineer, and he killed his own engineer. You'll see it in one of my posts at the start of one of my games. I think it was this very oil derrick as well. But there you go. My opponent is close, and these riflemen have spotted it, the first 2. And there you go. I've lost a veteran there. But I've seen these, and I'm keeping the engineer close. And my opponent has moved away with these 2. So now my opponent has captured this oil derrick. You see I've sent these 3 rifles at the back. Now I've got to watch that. There you go. So I think I've sent 3 rifles back, and there's 10 rifles going here. So I've got 3 rifles at my home base. My opponent hasn't got any rifles guarding the home base. But I've got the view range benefit there, so I've defeated those 2. And now these 10 rifles are going to clear the barrels away, and my engineer's going to capture that. Now my opponent's turned back. They're sending 1 rifle behind the engineer. So that's why you should send a rifleman or 2. Always do it, because that engineer would be dead now. But my opponent won't see where these riflemen are. They'll see these 3 and that's it. That's why I like to keep them out of view range, and now I've captured that, the view range belongs to me. So I should rally these together. That's it. A little better. That's it. Yes, there we go. So I've taken 2 oil derricks. My opponent's got 1. So they've done well to take the central one after trying to contest here. So there you go. I'm leaving a rifleman behind. In fact, I'm leaving 2. And my engineer is being escorted by these few rifles, while the rest of my army, my early army, meets them. So I should have my scout vehicle underway. Let's have a look. Should be my APC. Now my opponent's going for the corner. Let's have a look. So they'll soon have 2 oil derricks. Yeah, I've taken them out. That was lucky. My engineer took some hits there. Very lucky. Yeah, my opponent's got 2 oil derricks. They've done well. They didn't hang about. So I've got 2 and I took 1 away from them. So they would have 3. They've actually captured 3 oil derricks. So they've done okay there. But this is a decent little force. And if I've taken out their scout vehicle while it was trying to, whatever was trying to attack that, then, you know, they're not in a good situation. They are sending rifle scouts, look. So they know what they're doing, and they're bringing rifles. They're not wasting units, they're bringing them back. Now, that engineer's made it his way back up there. But as you can see, they won't be able to see all these rifles. There you go, look, they can't see that much. They'll see this vehicle, and now the engineer, so there you go. They don't know that these units are here. I do have to keep infantry or units around my engineer to watch for them moving around the back. There you go, look. So he's gone for the snipe. I've just got the capture as it died, as he killed my engineer, and my opponent's destroyed that oil derrick. Nicely done. So we're at 2 oil derricks to me, 1 to my opponent. So they've destroyed 1 and I've taken 1 away. Very interesting. Let's have a look at the early army value at 5 minutes. I've got an 8,000 army value. My opponent's at 6,000, 7,000 now. And I've seen them attacking here. I've got my expansion I'm worrying about. And yeah, I didn't respond anywhere near quickly enough to deal with that. I could have used the view range advantage to destroy that group of units there. I'm at 10,000 army value, my opponent's at 9. There's my first heavy tank. And my rifle guard has discovered the enemy expansion. $12,000 army value each, briefly, equal. I've got a decent force. It's quite spread out though, actually. A very small group there. So yeah, I'm moving forward. By the looks of that, I'm checking out what's going on. My opponent's seen all this, and this group is small, and it's been hit by my opponent's entire army. There goes the APC. There goes my heavy tank up front. I've got 1 more to take its place. And I've taken out the enemy's vehicles, but I've got to fall back there. Can I save any units? Now my opponent's got 2 vehicles straight away on site. I'm bringing this one, so yeah, that's okay. Falling back before I lost too much. But I've got 10,000 army value. My opponent's at 13 now. That was bad. I failed there. I didn't have anywhere near enough scouts around the map. Like, my opponent was scouting properly. They saw my army with this, and that's why they swooped in and attacked, because they saw my army with this ranger. Now they know they can attack here, and I've got nothing to stop them. 13,000 army value to me, 15,000 to my opponent. And I saw these units moving across and thought I need to try and attack them while they're on the move, gain an advantage like they did against me, but by me attacking rather than me blundering it. But my opponent looks like they're dividing their army up. Oh, and they're going for the oil derrick. So I'm here trying to protect that and thought, right, I need to move out. I can't be idle, but going through there would be a bad idea. My opponent has put a pillbox in the perfect place. And I've got the MCV. My what a second MCV is moving to expand, and it's going straight towards an enemy army. And my opponent's bringing their MCV, second one, to the same place. Now, I'm moving forward with this force. It looks like I've got the advantage here, army-wise, but I've just... my MCV, my second construction yard's been hit. Now, I'm trying to escape, but it's got no hope. So, there we are. I've won this engagement, but my opponent saved their units immediately. So, that's perfect. They didn't lose very much, and they probably saw that I was going to win, and drew back here. And they've got base defences, base production, better view range, and they can defeat me there. And they're attacking me at the same time, but without vehicles they can't win here at this point. I've got base defences, I'm in the same position, they can't win here and I can't win here, but at least I've got tanks. And I'm still in a decent position, but I thought, nah, you have to fall back, you're going to lose what forces you've got. And I'm a few thousand behind in army value, but I moved forward with those. I was hoping to actually regroup everything together. And these guys here, they didn't retreat. But I should use my vehicle's view range, position them carefully, one here, say, and one here, and use my infantry to strip away a load of them. My opponent attacked here. Perfect. And they basically pinned me down and then used this small force just to... See, there aren't even many rockets. What's that, 3? And they've destroyed my first war factory. And I've just placed my second, so that's not too bad. This force can deal with them. Now, that tank's going for repairs, obviously, but this force here, it's more than enough to deal with them. Now, they are retreating, but that's fine. I should actually take 2 tanks away. And there you go, I'm moving forward. And this is a decent force. I should now attack this way and just set up my force here to destroy these, and then these would take so many losses as they arrived before these tanks got in position. And look, I'd even hold these tanks. These should come back. What a shame. I should have attacked to the right instead of sticking to my guns and following round this way. Look, there's the construction yard. I am following it. But there, look, they've caught my base defences. I've got 2 ore trucks vulnerable here. That's destroyed immediately, that ore truck. And this one's going to be destroyed. No problem. And I'm gathering a force, but it looks like my opponent's got a larger army, and I'm attacking over here. My opponent saved the construction yard and the ore truck. That's really good skill. Really good skills where they're salvaging their assets, and they're doing it immediately at the right time rather than losing loads of units and then falling back. They're actually retreating in good time perfectly. Yeah, and look, they're splitting my forces. I've got very little that I can use to defend them. This MCV's trying to escape. It's my only construction yard, and they've just destroyed it. So I've got these 2 small groups, but my opponent is falling back. I think they could win here, but they're not pushing it. And they're probably right to. That's going to go for a repair, I'm assuming. But yeah, they're probably right there. And I've got a 10,000 army value. My opponent's got 18,000 now at this point. I've got a small eco raid there, but there are no ore trucks at the moment. And this force is escorting my MCV. I've just built one immediately. While the last construction yard MCV husk is still burning, I've got another one replaced. So I at least had planned for that, because I'd lost one up here, don't forget, so I needed a second. There you go, I've got an eco raid here, and now my opponent's got an ore truck, but for some reason it's going all the way over there. And I was ready to stop this main army, but there's an eco raid here. I just can't respond to it all. This force would need to be split, and then it couldn't defeat this force. In fact, you see, look, yeah, I'm having to chase down groups of units, and he's calling in reinforcements wherever I do. So yeah, this isn't good. I've got 1 tank left, 2 hopefully if that gets in position. Not too bad. I've gave a reasonable account. Now there's nothing left to stop this. And there you go, look, that eco raid has done something, is doing some work, probably draw a bit of attention, and I'm losing more ore trucks. I'm down to 2. My opponent's got 7. And I'm at a 4,000 army value. My opponent's at 15. That's, you know, defeat, basically. 2 ore trucks. I'm losing things. As, you know, just being destroyed and torn apart. My opponent did well. These should attack and destroy that and move on. Attack the power plant next. Just an attack move. There you go. No more tank production. And I'm moving this force into position to use the view range of the barracks to kill these troops. And there you go. There's my eco raid. Destroying the refinery. And it looks like they might catch me. Yes, sadly, that's the end of my eco raid. And this force has moved away. Yeah, they would actually deal with them. And this is it, my last few units, my last effort, my primary production is here to make a good stand, make a fight of it. No one's firing yet. There we are. Shoot at the tank with missiles, kill it. Nice one, you see? Still fighting. There's another tank dead. You know, still fighting. But that's it, no more assets to fight with, 0 army value. And I've got this MCV, and I've ordered it to move around and go here, because I've actually got a base, an expansion set up here. I've got a refinery, so I'm moving my ore trucks, look. But my opponent's found it with a helicopter straight away. So while I've got assets, I don't like to just give it up. You see, I've got cash I can't even spend. It's such a shame, but I have changed my primary production here. So I'm getting infantry underway. I bet I'm probably in low power. Yes, that's a shame. I should sell that. Sell the flame tower and build a power plant, because then I wouldn't be in... There you go, I have. There you go. So now I've got this, but I'm still trying to build. And I can earn money in the meantime. Build infantry. So there you go, I've placed my power plant. Has my opponent got Tanya? Yes, I thought I heard that. There you go. So they're at 24,000 army value. I'm at 1,000 loot and less now, being destroyed. So there you go, that's it. You know, they've discovered this expansion. I've still got this one set up, quite good. Now, I was going to set up another expansion here, but they've got this one. They've got artillery and decent forces, a large army. That's the end of that. And there you go, I've called it. Well past time. So there you go. There's the second game for you. And this was the first replay in this post. That was my first game of today. But this replay we've just fought, that I've just shown you this one. I fought this last night. This game. So it's older than the previous replay. That I've just fought that game. So here's the army graph. Anyway, it looks like I was slightly ahead, and then it was just that first engagement that I messed it up, and I never recovered. I was always behind and took a bit of a loss here. But yeah, I was doing okay at some points, but I needed to just be more active and aggressive, you know, and taken some more pressure off. But you know, and I would like to have attacked to the right with that army rather than following the MCV round this way. I don't think I followed the MCV. I think I just attacked this way to look for things, but I should have attacked to the right instead and destroyed that army as it arrived piecemeal. So there's the army graph for you. Look at that beating I took at the end. That's bad. And earnings, yeah, my earnings were okay, but declined steadily. My opponent's finishing army, a couple of helicopters, a couple of artillery, some tanks, Tanya. They've got an engineer and a decent amount of infantry. 25,000 army value, that one. I lost 21 structures, my opponent lost 3. I killed 252 units, my opponent killed 280, so it was fairly close in numbers of kills. I destroyed 55,000 credits worth of my opponent's assets. My opponent destroyed 79,000 credits worth of mine, so I was defeated soundly there. My opponent's got GPS satellite counting down for support powers. I obviously didn't have any counting down. Production, my opponent's building refineries, pillbox, basics, Black Hawk still under production, and they've hung on to an oil derrick. It's this corner one out of the way, look, nice one. They've got 8 ore trucks, and I earned 89,000. My opponent earned 112,000. I've got a few grand cash. I just couldn't spend. You know, that's what happens when you get beaten. But I was at 26 actions per minute, and my opponent was at 32 actions per minute. Quite not that fast, either of us. But there's your scores: 583 to me, 770 to my opponent. And there's all your stats and graphs and charts in those 2 games. I hope you enjoyed them. If you liked both games, or either of them, give us a sub and a like. And thank you very much for watching. Take good care of yourselves. There's all the information and everything. So until next time, thank you very much. And for now, goodbye.
Battle control terminated.